Look, Raul, trust me, I know some guys here in Freeside. They're a bunch of doctors. They might be able to help you, just look a little better. You know, nothing personal, just a little skincare, you know, it goes a long way. No, you're a ghoul, it's kind of hard, I get that, but, just a little skincare to help you out. Hey, guy.
What's up?
Yeah, look, he's very, self-conscious. I'm gonna do this without
What
him.
can I do for you, boss?
Yeah, Raul, don't worry. I'll get a doctor, and, I'll send him back to the Lucky 38. Why don't you go back and wait?
Good call. I mean, if that's what you really want, boss.
Yeah, trust me. We'll meet up later.
Hey, as long as you're not asking me to go back to Black Mountain, I'm a happy old man.
Alright, so, hey, man, what's your name?
Hi. If you're looking for medical help, try the other doctors. I'm just a researcher. Not even a particularly good one.
Not even a particularly good one? Well, I mean, what kind of research do you do?
Oh, you know, finding alternative treatments for common illnesses and injuries. Stim packs out of barrel cacti and other fantastic improbabilities. As far as fruitless wastes of time go, it's quite noble in its aims.
Well, what's the goal?
For the past 100 years or so, the followers have managed to get by using salvaged medical supplies from the old world. But the side effect of medical success is that more people live longer. Funny how that works. Eventually, we'll run out of hospitals to loot. We need new ways to produce those supplies, or maybe old ways if this research goes anywhere.
I mean, you don't sound too enthusiastic about it. It sounds interesting.
I'm enthusiastic about helping people, but nihil novi sub sole.
Wait, isn't that the language that the Legion speaks?
Caesar can cite Cato to suit his purpose. Many people have spoken Latin. Some of them were quite pleasant. It's unfortunate that the language is now associated with the gentleman across the river.
Well, where did you learn that?
Not from the Legion, if that's what you're getting at. Books, sheet music, gladiator movie holotapes, bits and pieces here and there. The followers have extensive libraries, but we all draw water from the same old well. Even Caesar.
Do you know a lot about Caesar?
I don't know anything that the others couldn't tell you. Caesar was one of the followers. Before my time, of course. He wanted to rebuild the new world in the image of the old. A sad story of good intentions gone bad. In that regard, he's hardly unique. If you set aside his leadership capabilities, extensive knowledge, and ruthless cunning, he's just another jerk who steps on people to get his way.
Alright, so, Nihi what? What did that mean exactly?
Oh, sorry. There's nothing new under the sun. If agave and mesquite were that miraculous, the locals would have figured it out a few thousand years ago.
Okay, let's talk about something
Certainly.
else. Why do you do research instead of providing medical assistance?
Not all followers are people persons. Besides, someone needs to do research. I have no problem with Julie sticking me back here. Out of sight, out of mind. There are worse things one can be, though I do admit it is a bit boring. Though it has a noble goal, I don't think this research will yield much fruit. No pun intended.
Why don't you come with me?
No offense intended, but why should I go anywhere with you?
I mean, things are bad around here. I'd like to make a difference, and I'd like you to help me.
That seems appropriately resolute and yet vague. I'll give you the benefit of the doubt and go with you, but let me be clear about something. If you plan to help Caesar's Legion, this is going to be a brief relationship. I may not have all the answers for how to fix Freeside's problems, but Caesar taking control isn't part of the solution. Fair?
I mean, that's a fair point. I'll take you on that.
A courier, doctor, and a cybernetic dog. After we deal with the whole imminent conquest of New Vegas problem, we should open an act at the tops.
And with that, Arcade Gannon joins us and gives us the Better Healing perk. What Better Healing does is it lets you regain more health from all sources while he is a companion. This means stim packs, this means food, I think it even means that just the regenerative ability over time, you will get more health from that. So today's episode is going to be about this guy right here, the final companion for us to get in the base game. But before we move on to his companion stuff, there are a few other ways to recruit him, so let's check that out. So Arcade can be an interesting companion to recruit. Being a doctor, basically you either want to impress him by helping out the followers, or with your own speech, or you want him to take pity on you. If you have 3 or lower intelligence, then you get this option. This place is really complicated and stuff. You're smart. Can you help me do things?
Wow. You sound like you really do need some help. Look, I can help you out, but you can't do anything I mean, you can't help bad people who want to hurt the locals in Freeside. If you do, I'll leave. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I guess. So, are you coming with me or what? For this next one, you need to be a male character and you need to have the confirmed bachelor perk. I need a good-looking doctor to help take care of me in the big bad wasteland.
Overt flirtation will get you everywhere, you know. On a slightly more serious note, if you're interested in helping out with the troubles plaguing Freeside, I can come with you. Just don't do anything obnoxious, like trying to help Caesar's Legion, and we should be fine. Understood?
Fair enough.
All right, let's not waste any time. There are people out there to help, things to learn. Maybe not in that order, but let's get to it.
Now there is another way to recruit Arcade Gannon. According to the wiki, you just need a high reputation with the followers of the Apocalypse. And I am idolized with them, as you can see here. But no matter what I tried, I could not get this option to pop up. I tried reducing my speech down to where I wouldn't be able to get the speech check, see if it showed up there. I even tried editing my reputation again in the console, but I just couldn't get it. So we're going to skip that one, but if you can't do any of these options, there is one final way you can recruit him. Let's talk to him real quick.
Hi. Have you...
You can ask him if he needs any help.
Me specifically? No. I'm sure Julie Farkas does, though. Lab coat, pointy hair. Answers to the name Julie Farkas, strangely enough. I'm sure she can find something for you to do. It might be kind of depressing and terrible, though. Caveat Samaritanus. See you around.
So he points us to Julie Farkas, who we've had a little bit of contact with in this series, but we never did her main quest.
So the great Caesar is dead. Happy news, but I don't know that it'll make things safer. The rest of his goons may be even worse once they take power.
Well, things seem pretty rough here in Freeside.
More than rough, it's a damn mess. Freeside townies are constantly picking fights with NCR civilians. Thugs and thieves are always looking for a victim, and the local families are just sitting back making caps on the mess. Freeside is in dire need, but no one has been man enough to step up. The followers can only do so much to stem the tide.
Well, is there anything I can do to help?
There is always something needing done. A few souls here in Freeside could be great assets to the community if they'd kick their addictions. We need a regular supply of medicine organized, but the Crimson Caravan wants too many caps for what we need. Lastly, tensions between the townies and NCR tourists have been going downhill fast lately. A lot of innocent people will get hurt if things blow up.
Said something about helping addicts.
Yes, old Bill Ronte and Jacob Hoff. They're not going to kick their habits on their own.
Tell me about Bill Ronte.
Old Bill Ronte is an exceptionally skilled machinist. He could fix the problems we've been having with Freeside's water pump, if he sobered up.
Tell me about Jacob.
The Garretts hooked Jacob on chems when he was working for them. Ironic, since he used to homebrew detox chems. He's a natural chemist.
Well, where should I start looking?
In Freeside, the drunks and drug addicts flock in and around the Atomic Wrangler. I'd start there.
I'll see what I can do to help them.
Sobering them up and putting them back to work would go a long way toward helping Freeside.
Spoiler alert, I'm not gonna start around the Atomic Wrangler. If we fast travel to the East Gate, we should have one of them right next to Mick and Ralph's. And that will also have someone else nearby who we need for the quest.
Hey! Had enough?
Good job, Rex. Good job. Oh, there's another one.
Bang, bang, bang.
Hey, you're the one.
Dude, leave me alone. I'm getting hit by like 3 different people on my way here. Okay, so he usually...
Watch out! Take this!
Oh my god. Guys, please. Just leave me alone. Everyone. So this is not who I'm looking for. He might be inside the building over here, or he's probably running around from all the gunfire and everything. Jesus. Here he is right here. Jacob Hoff.
Hello. You have chems, buddy? I could really use a fix.
Julie Farkas says you could use some help.
Julie's a saint, but I don't need help. I feel young and strong, as long as I get my chems.
You look pretty bad, Jacob. You should probably stop using chems.
Why stop? I feel great. No worries. My guy will be here soon enough. Just wait.
Who's supplying you?
If I had 2 caps to scrape together, I'd buy the materials to make my own. My damn hands won't stop shaking. This guy named Dixon. Something about him seems sketchy, but I can't stop now. Last time I stopped, I felt like I was gonna turn inside out. At this point, I'm mostly buying his stuff just so I don't feel sick. Speaking of which, do you have any spare caps?
Yeah, no, I'm not giving you any money, buddy, but thank you for telling me who your supplier is. So Dixon should be found nearby here as well. That's not him. He probably ran off with all the gunfire, so let's go find him. Oh, it looks like he ran way over here. Okay. He's usually standing like right outside Mick and Ralph's.
Looking for a fix, man? I got what you need.
Do you know anything about Bill or Jacob?
Yeah, man. Those cats are out of their domes addicted to my shit. They can't get enough. Pretty hilarious to watch.
Well, I need you to stop supplying Bill and Jacob.
Really? Ah, you're such a saint. You know what? I might be willing to stop if there's something in it for me.
So there's a few ways to do this. You can persuade him with 300 caps, or you can use a speech 35 option, so the NCR is supplying you with cheap chems to keep Freeside down.
Wait, man, you can't go around saying shit like that. Okay, I get your point. You won't have to worry about me supplying those 2 anymore.
Okay, but what are you selling though?
Have a look, baby.
Oh, he has his own special stuff here. Well, you know what?
Come on back if you have any interesting news. What do you think you're... Hey!
He won't be a problem anymore. Alright, so let's go and tell Jacob the good news. Dealt with his supplier there. There's no way he'll be getting anything now.
So you're back. Got any chems for me yet?
I took care of that dealer. Now you can clean up.
What? I need a fix now!
I want to help you get well, Jacob.
Fine. If you really care so much, then give me some shots of Fixer to calm down these shakes. I'm gonna need at least 10 shots to get me through the week. From there, the followers should be able to help.
So he's gonna want 10 shots of Fixer. Or you can do a Science 50 check to convince him that a combination of Fixer, Psycho, and Buff Out would do it in one shot. Or even further, if you don't want to collect anything, with Speech 50, you can tell Jacob to be strong. You just need the support of your friends to get through this.
I think you're right. I've been through worse. I'll go to the fort and see if the followers can watch over me while I recover.
And that deals with Jacob. Let's head over to Bill Ronte. He is actually going to be right around the Atomic Wrangler. So here's the Atomic Wrangler, and Bill Ronte should be in this rundown house right next to it. Here he is.
Come on, man, I'm dying here.
Julie Farkas sent me to help you sober up.
Julie? I love Julie. She's such a nice lady. One time I was working on the water pump, and she came over, put her hand on my shoulder, and told me I was doing a great job. Great job, she says. I just choked up and didn't say nothing. Compliments are so rare these days.
Well, you won't be seeing Dixon anymore.
What the hell? Why? I need alcohol, man. I'm gonna die if I don't get a drink.
You need to kick the habit, Bill. I can help you.
The only way you can help me now is a load of detox chems.
What do you need?
At least a couple of doses of Fixer, a bottle of whiskey, and Radaway. I can take doses of Fixer and Radaway to gradually flush my system over time while drinking decreasing shots of diluted whiskey. This shit better be worth it, man.
So, if you go down that route, he's gonna want what he said there. If you do Science 50, you can tell him that regulating decreasing doses of booze with a couple shots of Fixer should do it, and that'll allow you to skip the Radaway. Or, once again, you can use Speech 50. Bill, Julie and the rest of your friends miss you. They need your help.
Oh, Julie, I've really screwed things up. I'll head over to the fort and get some rest. This has gone on too long.
And with that, we have both of them all fixed up. We just need to return to Julie Farkas. If it's nighttime when you get back to the fort, Julie Farkas won't be out in the open. She will actually be in this little tower bit to the right of the main entrance.
I sincerely hope the NCR are getting supplies in place to defend against an attack, because it looks like the Legion has plans for the dam again.
I helped with that addiction problem you mentioned.
I saw them. Thank you so much for helping them. This means a lot to the followers of the Apocalypse. You have our thanks. If you need some medical supplies, come see me. With Jacob working with us, we should be able to spare a stim or fixer once a day.
Alright, so now that we've helped her out, or liked in Freeside, that doesn't matter. We should be able to go talk
Evening.
the old Arcade Gannon. If we can find him. There he is.
Hello again. Still in one piece, I see.
Yeah, did you need any more help?
Personally, no. But thanks to you, Julie says we're a lot better off these days. I'll take her word for it. So thanks.
Well, would you like to come with me? I could use someone skilled in medicine.
You've helped the followers, so you can't be entirely bad. To be honest, I haven't heard anyone say a negative word about you. As long as you keep working to help people around here get a fair shake, sure, I'll lend a hand. All right, let's not waste any time. There are people out there to help, things to learn. Maybe not in that order, but let's get to it.
Alright, and with that, he joins us once again. Now that we've done all that, I do want to note, you cannot recruit Arcade Gannon if you have a positive reputation with the Legion. He is very similar to Boone in that matter. Neither of them like working with the Legion. But let's see if we can get to know him just a little bit better.
What's up?
Tell me about yourself.
I'm really very boring. You'd get better stories out of a Freeside junkie.
Kate, I'm asking you because I'm interested. Don't put yourself down.
Oh, all right. I'm 30-ish. Well, late 30s. I was born west of here. I was an only child and spent most of my time with my mother. My father died when I was young and I never got over it. Oh, and I like medicine and reading books about failed pre-war socioeconomic policies. Right now, I'm sure you're asking yourself, why hasn't some lucky man scooped this bachelor off his feet? Like I said, I'm boring.
Why don't you like talking about yourself?
Some people do. I just don't. Look, I appreciate that you're trying to be friendly, but I'd just rather not discuss it.
Okay.
See you.
So he's not very open about himself unless you kind of force him to be. But this is Arcade Gannon. He uses an energy pistol, a plasma pistol it looks like, as his main weapon. And he does have a companion quest, unlike our prior two companions. His has a lot to do with the finale of the game, to the point where you basically need to be at the end of the game for it to really trigger. But before then, we do need to get a few conversation triggers for him. Similar to Boone and Veronica, we need to go see a few things in the Wasteland in order for him to trigger this companion quest. So he works a little similar to Boone, where Boone had history points, Arcade has trust points. We need to earn 5 points for him to trigger his companion quest. So let's get to it. So I'm going to show you guys all the easy ones to get first, basically the ones where it doesn't matter how far you've progressed in the game, what you've done, you can get these no matter what. The first one is going to be at a crashed vertebrate site here at the south of the map, in between Caesar's Legion safe house and Camp Searchlight. There are going to be a lot of hostile robots here, so be ready for a fight. But basically, you want to come up, discover the area, and wait for Arcade Gannon to comment on it.
A vertibird. Interesting. It's been a long time since I've seen one of these.
What do you know about them?
What does anyone know about them? Big flying machines, right? Crazy helicopters. So weird.
So he seems to know what a vertibird is, but doesn't want to let on about why. Interesting. This next one is going to be in the Repcon headquarters here, near the 188 trading post, just across from the followers outpost across the highway. All you're going to want to do here is travel into the building with Arcade as an active companion.
I've read about Repcon. I think they did some work with the the government before the war. Rockets and some energy weapon prototypes, I think.
That's an odd combination.
Repcon went through some rough times. When the rocket business was shaky, Mr. House purchased the company. It didn't take long for him to repurpose their plasma technology for a government weapon contract.
Well, what was Project Semele?
Another one of Poseidon Energy's mini-secret weapon projects, before the Great War. It didn't go anywhere. That's how Repcon got their shot, so to speak.
Well, how do you know so much about this again?
Stop thinking so much. Thanks.
Okay, so he seems to know a bit about the pre-war government and some prototypes and weapons they were working on. This next one is going to be obtained in the Camp McCarran terminal building. All you're going to want to do is end a conversation with Thomas Hildern.
Hello?
Any ending that ends with him saying yes, goodbye, or wrong turn, question mark, will cause Arcade to start a conversation.
Yes? Something else you needed? Yes. Goodbye.
Hildern is a good example of big picture obsession gone too far. At some point, he became so fixated on large-scale results that he lost the concept of the common good along the way. It's an inhumane kind of public service when people and the basic resources they need become numbers in a ledger.
So this one's a little different from the other two. The other two, you get 1 point each for triggering the conversation, and it doesn't matter how you reply to him. This one, you actually get a different amount of points depending on how you reply. You get 1 point for saying, I'm sure he means well, but you're gonna get 2 points for saying, good thing there are still people like you around.
Kind of you to say, but there are better people than me around here. I just hope the followers can make a difference in the long run.
And there you go. With 3 encounters, we already have 4 of the 5 points we already need, but don't worry, I'm gonna go through all of them. This next place has plenty of opportunity for points. So the first time that you enter the fort with Arcade Gannon as your companion, he is always going to stop you with a conversation because, of course, he doesn't like the Legion. Now, you will get this conversation no matter if you've wiped out the fort or if Caesar is alive or dead or what, you'll always get it, but there are more opportunities if Caesar is alive. So I'm going to grab this conversation here, then I will probably switch to a new character and get the Caesar conversation. Let's head on in.
What's up?
Another kill to my name.
Wait a second. What's going on? Am I playing Virgil to your Dante? I'd like to assume that we're tiptoeing into the mouth of hell out of academic curiosity, but I'm not so open-minded that I've lost my brains.
Now again, you do get different amounts of points for different options here. If you say, I just want to hear Caesar out, then you get 1 point. If you say, with how messed up New Vegas is, do you really think Caesar has nothing to offer? And then you follow that up with "I'm just trying to be open-minded," you will also get 1 point. But if you say "let's just listen to him, figure out what he's up to, and get out," then he will give you 2 points.
Short of canceling our imminent travel plans, that's the best thing you could have said. Just be careful. If we travel at Caesar's pleasure, he may not let us out as easily as he lets us in.
Now this next one is pretty easy. Like I said, if you have Caesar alive, you're going to go into the tent.
You must enter Caesar's tent alone. Anyone else must remain outside.
You do have to leave Arcade outside while you go in. And all you need to do is talk to Caesar once, end the conversation, and head back out to Arcade.
So I finally get to meet the courier who's accomplished so much in so little time. That's why I summoned you here, right? I mean, a man nearly kills you, and your response is to track him across the breadth of the Mojave? The question is, are you ready to get started?
I should be going, actually.
You should be listening. That's what you should be doing. The time is fast approaching.
But actually, I don't need to be listening. I just need to be going. So please let me go.
Some of the slaves have been spreading stories.
Man, Arcade, you cannot believe that guy.
What a load of Brahmin shit. Can you believe that guy?
I mean, I just said you cannot believe that guy. Anyways, you get 1 point here for saying he's a madman. What did you expect? And you get 2 points for saying if you have an intelligence of 8, I don't think either of us can fully understand what he and the tribes have gone through.
A fair point. But from the perspective of someone west of the Colorado, the man is clearly out of his mind. Maybe he didn't intend for things to wind up this way. But that doesn't mean he needs to perpetuate this bizarre anachronistic myth. And it doesn't mean that we should sit by and nod our heads at every absurd faux Roman casus belli he can dream up. He's a tyrant, the bad kind, and there's no way we're letting him take Hoover Dam.
Some of the slaves.
Alright, for this next one, you're going to want to head on over to Helios 1. If you have already done the quest there, then I don't think you can get this one. As you're venturing through Helios 1 with Arcade Gannon at your side, this one is going to happen either after you talk to Mr. Fantastic or when you get to the mainframe. It can happen at either point.
Who the hell are you? They bring you in to replace me? They're replacing me, aren't they?
Settle down. I'm not here to replace anyone.
Damn right you're not. Goddamn right. Why would they? You can't top this guy. Just a little more time. You can't keep Fantastic down for long.
Well, what job do you have here?
What else? I'm in charge. This whole operation depends on me. No Fantastic, no power. Got the whole NCR suckling my teats, and it feels so good.
Well, what exactly are you trying to accomplish?
Well, see, we're getting power because the guy running this place is fantastic. But the mirrors outside aren't aimed right, so we're running at 1% efficiency, and I guess that just isn't good enough for some assholes. Trouble is, most of the controls for this place aren't here. They're in the tower. And that place has some crazy pre-war security system that the dumb shit NCR set off when they took over. Killed 2 guys. Now they won't go near it. They want me to make an omelet, but I can't break any of their eggs. Know what I'm saying?
Well, how would someone retarget the mirrors?
There's these 2 terminals outside. They control the mirrors. I tried fooling with them, but didn't get very far. You'd have to get them to talk to the mainframe up in the tower, then do the rest from up there. I'm guessing, but it sounds good, right? Hey, you're not thinking about going up there, are you?
I am now.
Well, hey, if you find yourself up at the mainframe, do yourself a favor and make sure you send the power to the right place. It needs to go to the Strip and McCarran.
Alrighty then.
Here, you'll want this. It's the password to one of the terminals outside. Found it written on one of the stalls in the bathroom.
In case it's not obvious, I think you should redirect the power to Freeside and Outer Vegas.
Now you get 1 point for saying of course, or you can say why not to the whole area equally.
NCR troops control Hoover Dam. Why do they need more power?
And if you follow up with an intelligence 7 check, redundancy. If Caesar takes the dam and cuts off power, it will be chaos all over New Vegas, in which you still get 1 point.
That's a valid point. I'm not really behind the NCR in all of this, but the last thing I want is panic in the streets.
If you are doing the quest The Whitewash, then you have even more opportunity for points with Arcade Gannon. Many of these have to do with Tom Anderson, this NPC right here.
Tom Anderson, can I help you?
Heard Corporal White came here to investigate a water shortage.
No one by that name has come here, I'm afraid. You must have heard wrong. You can ask around if you like. They'll all tell you the same thing.
It was easy to figure out that the NCR water shortage points to you. Save me some time, will ya?
Fair enough. Since you seem to have pieced it together, I won't insult you by denying it any further. I killed Corporal White to protect Westside's self-reliance. It was rash, and I regret it now. We don't have money to pay for the water, so I rigged a pump station to divert water to the local cisterns from time to time.
Look, you need to answer for your crime. I'm taking you out.
Then you leave me no choice.
I don't know how I missed that. And there we go. You should now get a comment.
What's wrong with you? Killing Anderson isn't going to bring Corporal White back.
Now, if you pass this Intelligence 7 check, you're assuming a motive without evidence. Please be rational.
Fine. Would you mind explaining why you killed Anderson?
You get a point for saying it's cleaner this way, without bringing NCR in, no connecting Anderson back to the locals.
That's a grim deal to make. But when it came down to it, it's the same choice he made. Not all sacrifices are made by the willing. But where is the lamb for this burnt offering?
There are a couple other ways you can resolve this quest and still get a point for it. I kept trying one of them, but no matter how many different things I tried, I just couldn't get Arcade to comment on it. But I will explain it. If you can convince him to turn himself in and keep Westside's secret about the water, then it should trigger a conversation with Arcade, but again, I couldn't get that to happen. The other way is to not turn him in and blame Corporal White's death on the Scorpions. So look, I'd rather not turn you in, but someone else might come looking for White.
If the NCR thinks White was killed by, say, members from the Scorpions gang, it may be enough for them to close the case.
Consider it done. You stay free and Westside keeps getting water.
Thank you. What happened was regrettable, but I'll make sure it never happens again.
Interesting way of handling things. Very sub rosa. I don't know if the Scorpions deserve to be wiped out for something they didn't do, but that's one less problem Westside has to deal with.
Now you do get 2 points for blaming it on the Scorpions, and you're only supposed to get 1 point for turning him in. And finally, the last point you can get for him is if you've completed the whitewash without him present, the next time you visit Westside, he should make a comment about what happened with Anderson.
If Caesar's dead, why aren't the NCR...
Westside, huh? I heard about what happened with Anderson. Can't say I'm surprised. He was always a fringe operator in the followers.
And at this point, all you gotta say is, if you say so, I'm not arguing, and you get 1 point.
I do say so. The followers aren't a military organization. If anyone knew what he was up to, they weren't talking. And if they knew he was stealing water, so what? Westside has more of a right to that water than the NCR.
Taking care of regular folks yet.
Now that you've got your 5 points, it's time to trigger the companion quest, which, as I said before, doesn't trigger until later in the game, until you're pretty much done with the main storyline. Excuse me? So this is different depending on what ending you're going for. If you are with the NCR, then you need For the Republic Part 2 to be active, and you have to report back to Colonel Moore after killing or dealing with Mr. House. If you are working with Mr. House,
Have you seen that tower?
then you need the House Always Wins Part 5 to be active, and you need to report back to Mr. House after you've wiped out the Brotherhood of Steel bunker. Alternatively, if you're working with Yes Man, then you just need to have finishing touches active and install the override chip in the El Dorado substation. He will not offer his companion quest if you're working with the Legion. Because this guy don't like the Legion.
I need to talk to you about something, if you have a minute.
Sure.
Any day now? Caesar's going to try to march across Hoover Dam and kick NCR out of the Mojave. We're getting caught up in something important out here. Hell, after how you handled Benny, you're practically right in the middle of all this. I know I'm just along for the ride, but it's made me think about the past and how I might be able to help out.
What are you talking about?
I wasn't always with the followers, or with the NCR. My late father was an officer in a group called the Enclave, a remnant of America's pre-war government. Memories being short around here, not a whole lot of people remember them. But they did bad things. Terrorized communities, kidnapped people. Eventually someone stopped them. I was born a few years later at a military base on the coast, a place called Navarro.
Well, where did the Enclave go?
A lot of different places. I only know what I was told. Some of them were cut down by the NCR and the Brotherhood. Some of them went east. My mother never told me what happened to my father, but she and I went south with some others and integrated into the NCR. When the NCR learned that Enclave personnel had integrated, we kept moving to the fringes. It's one of the reasons why I wound up out here.
What happened to Navarro?
After the Enclave's command structure fell apart, it was only a matter of time before Navarro was overrun by NCR forces. My mother and I left with some of the troopers from my father's old unit, the same people I've kept in contact with over the years. Anyone who didn't get out was killed by the NCR. Even some of the ones who escaped were eventually hunted down by the Brotherhood of Steel.
Where are you going with all of this, Arcade?
The Enclave did a lot of bad things, but there were good people at Navarro. Good people with a lot of experience. Not many of them are alive anymore, but I think they can make a difference in the fight against Caesar.
Do you want them to help the NCR?
That's a hard question to answer. I know I don't want the Legion to take Hoover Dam. So militarily, yes, I want them to help NCR. If possible, I'd like to figure out a way to help the NCR win Hoover Dam without holding New Vegas.
Say no more, I'll do it.
Great. I'd like you to talk to the old-timers, the remnants. I don't think I could convince them by myself. To them, I'm still a kid. But you're a big part of what's happening out here. When you talk to them, they'll understand how important this all is. I've kept in contact with them over the years, so I know where you can find them. But I doubt they'll open up to you unless I come along. I know I'm not always the most serious guy around, but this means a lot to me. Thanks.
And with that, he now gives us his companion quest for Auld Syne, in which we have to go around and recruit 5 members, 5 remnants of the Enclave. The first one we're going to go after is actually here in Novak, one of the few survivors of Boone's little massacre. In fact, while we're here, I'd like to just dip in and make sure that we don't have another dead man walking. Oh, nope, he's still here. Good, good. Don't know how that man decided to come back to life in the last episode, but he did. You're going to want to come up here to Daisy Whitman's room. And here she is.
Fine weather for flying. It's times like these that make me miss it all.
You were a pilot?
Vertibird pilot. 71 missions and only lost 1 chopper. Rotor malfunction over Klamath. Hard landing, but I walked away.
What do you do in Novak?
I help folks strip down the more complicated bits of salvage they bring in. Engines, mostly. The bits and pieces we take out are usually worth more than the whole thing put together.
Did you fly for the NCR?
4? No, not exactly. It was a long time ago. Things are a lot different these days, and those days are way behind me.
Well, Arcade asked me to find you. I'm reuniting the remnants, and they'll need your piloting skills.
Told you everything about us, did he? Well, it's been a while since I've had my hands on the controls of a vertibird. There's a chance I could crash us in the middle of Lake Mead. That place seems to attract aircraft for some reason. But if I get one more chance to fly, count me in. I'll be there. My part of the passphrase is dear.
How did you like flying vertibirds for the Enclave?
I was never happier than when I was in the cockpit. I was able to go just about anywhere and everywhere, limited only by the fuel I could carry. There were more than a few missions where I took the scenic route home just so I could stay in the air. Caught hell for it every time, but worth it. Some of the things we did were questionable, I know. That's just how it was back then. Figure I've done enough good to make up for any sins, anyhow. Watch your six out there.
Since my mother died, Daisy's been the only woman in my life. She was the only other woman close to my father, too. She flew him out on over a dozen missions, including his last. I've always been close to Daisy. There have been some good men along the way, but lovers make poor confidants. Daisy never had children of her own, so she was always there to listen. Being in the Enclave didn't mean much to her. She just loved to fly. It broke her heart to be grounded.
It was an important part of her life. Why shouldn't she enjoy it?
As screwed up as it sounds, at least she was a part of something. Granted, it was something admittedly pretty bad, but it was something. If you spent the first half of your life flying Enclave troopers in a vertibird, I suppose picking over pre-war rocket parts doesn't quite compare.
Next on the list is gonna be Cannibal Johnson in his own cave here, kind of in between Durable Dunn's caravan and the Followers' outpost here. Let's head on inside. He does have a few traps set up, so be a little careful.
Well, it's about damn time. What took you... Oh.
You were expecting someone else?
I've been in the Reaper's shadow for a long time now, and I thought he'd finally showed up to collect. He's just mocking me now.
You sound like you're eager to die.
There's a twitch in my trigger finger. I've lost my eagle eyes, and the other day I could have sworn I heard Sergeant Dornan chewing me out. I'm old, and I'm starting to feel it. It's not pleasant, especially when you know your mind's slipping away. And we all gotta go sometime. But I was hoping for something a little more heroic.
Well, who's Sergeant Dornan?
He was a drill instructor I knew. He was also the meanest bastard I've ever known. Once he caught this private out of uniform, and old Dornan went off on the most ear-blistering rant known to man. It was inspiring.
You served in the military?
Yeah. It was a long time ago. Things were better back then.
Well, tell me about yourself.
What do you want to know?
So, are you really a cannibal?
Ha! I'm not saying. It's part of my mystique, after all.
Sounds like there's an interesting story behind it.
The truth of it is that I did cut out a raider's heart, but only took a bite to mess with his buddies. They had me surrounded, and I went with the first thing that came to mind. Some ran, and the rest were startled just long enough.
And you live out here by yourself?
Sure do. Had a wife for a while. Tribal girl, really pretty eyes. But she's been gone a long time now.
Oh, let's talk about something else.
Well, ain't like I've got places to be.
Arcade asked me to gather all the remaining members of the Enclave.
Thought I recognized the fellow with you. So what's this reunion all about then?
He thinks your experience and technology will help resolve the conflict in this region.
Well, now there's an interesting idea. Do a bit of good before we're all dead and forgotten. You can count me in. Oh, and in case Arcade forgot to mention it, there's a 5-word passphrase needed to get into the bunker. My word is Auld. Appropriate, huh?
If I had to pick anyone who didn't belong in the Enclave, it would definitely be Johnson. He hated what the Enclave was doing. Day to day, week to week, he would question orders, subvert mission objectives, do anything he could to serve without serving. It's amazing he was never court-martialed. He always had good things to say about my father. Said I was like him in a lot of ways. I wish I knew.
Sure your father would be proud of you, Arcade.
I wonder if he would. It's pointless, I know, but sometimes I wonder what he wanted me to be. Maybe being a doctor in the middle of Nevada wasn't exactly what he had in mind for his little boy.
Next up, we are returning to Jacobstown for a familiar face, and be aware you cannot recruit this man until after you have completed the quest Guess Who I Saw Today, which we did a couple episodes ago when we recruited Lily Bowen. That's right, we're going to see Dr. Henry.
Is there something else I can do for you?
You're a scientist?
Yes, specializing in neuroscience, both human and canine. Of course, this lab is nothing compared to what I had when I was with the Enclave.
You were with the Enclave?
Yes, but the leadership and I didn't see eye to eye, so I left. It was the right decision, since the Enclave's oil rig was destroyed not long after.
Canine neuroscience. Tell me more about that.
Cyberdogs and the like. It's not a field I work in much anymore.
Okay.
If we must.
I'm surprised to find another human here.
I prefer the solitude, and having a bunch of super mutants around tends to keep things safe and quiet.
Well, let's cut to the chase. Arcade Gannon asked me to gather all the former members of the Enclave.
I'm intrigued, so I'll go to this reunion. I'll be handing things over to Calamity, so talk to her if anything comes up. Oh, you'll need my word from the passphrase to get into the bunker. Friends. Don't forget it. Yes, yes.
Doc Henry always was a hard one to figure out. It didn't seem to matter whether he was working with humans or dogs. He had an equal lack of affection for both. A regular Diogenes. I'm not sure what the man was after. Knowledge is power, but to what end for Henry, I have no idea. The problem was what mattered to him, not its practical impact. He simply solved riddles because they existed.
Well, his work was what mattered to him then.
Not everyone dreams of being a revolutionary, I suppose. Maybe we can't all change the world. Maybe it's enough just to do good for the short time that we're here. No one's going to sing Doc Henry's praises when he's gone, but he's probably saved more lives than I ever will.
Next on the list is a man by the name of Orion Moreno, who can be found in his house just to the north of the NCR Sharecropper Farms. And I gotta warn you, he is a bit different from the other Enclave members we've met so far.
Looks like I forgot to lock the doors again. If you're with the NCR, get out. This place is mine, and I'm not leaving.
You have something against the NCR?
Oh, like you wouldn't believe. The NCR makes a habit out of wrecking homes. I came out here to get away from them. Didn't work out so well. Next thing I know, I'm squatting in their land. Never mind that I already been living here for years.
What do you do around here?
Do? I don't do anything. I'm retired.
So what did you do before you were retired?
I was a soldier. Why do you even care? I came out here to forget about the past, so quit bringing it up.
Okay, well, Arcade and I were looking for you. We're gathering the remnants.
Been a while, Arcade. So, what's the point of all this? Can't find any younger mercenaries?
Well, your advanced level of tech would be useful in settling things between the NCR and the Legion.
Is that right? The million-dollar question is, who exactly are we settling?
Do you have a preference?
I wouldn't mind cutting down a few platoons of NCR troopers with my old Gatling laser.
Well, that's what I was thinking too.
All right then. I'll show up at this gathering of yours. It might be good to see the others. Johnson excluded. Arcade might have mentioned there's a passphrase needed to get into the bunker. My part is remember.
So what did you do when you were with the Enclave?
Heavy weapons trooper. Nothing better than hosing down a target with an excess of bullets and laser fire. By the time I got through with things, not much was left standing. Any morons who didn't run when they saw me coming got what they deserved. Back then, it was war. If we'd been on the winning side, I'd be called a hero.
Moreno took the fall of the Enclave hard. He never questioned his orders, never questioned the legitimacy of what the Enclave was doing. To him, it was all one unbroken chain, from Washington to Richardson. When we left Navarro, I remember looking up at Moreno. He said, "Kiss America goodbye, boys." When we left the Enclave behind, the love in him burned itself out. Now there's just a bitter old man left.
Don't be too hard on him. It's a part of who he is.
I suppose you're right. When you're part of something for that long, maybe it's impossible to let go without losing part of yourself. Moreno may be a stubborn son of a bitch, but at least he's loyal.
The final member we are looking for is actually back here in West Side. Yes, I'm back here. I've been here quite a lot this episode, but today, this time, we're gonna skip the motel. We're gonna head over to the pawn shop here and talk to Judah Krieger.
You don't strike me as someone down on their luck. What brings you to West Side?
What do you do in West Side?
I help tend the crops, stand watch for fiends, and generally help keep things civilized.
How long have you lived in West Side?
Couple of years now. I was a trader for a while, but got tired of all the walking. West Side was a good place to settle down as any.
Well, Arcade asked me to find you. I'm gathering the remnants.
Hello, Arcade. Making some new friends, are you? Why the need for a bunch of old war horses like us?
You'll be the element of surprise.
Swooping in on a vertibird, guns blazing? Haven't done that in years, but all right, I'm in. None of this means a thing if the rest of the group doesn't show up, though. Oh, and you'll need my part of the passphrase to get into the bunker. Navarro.
So tell me about the old days with the Enclave.
I miss those days sometimes. We all had a purpose, you know? I admit that some of the folks in charge were pretty ruthless. The rest of us, though, we were just trying to civilize things. The NCR was still new, and it didn't look like they'd last all that long. Then we lost the oil rig, and shortly after that, the base at Navarro. Nobody left except us remnants.
What happened to the Enclave oil rig in Navarro?
Internal sabotage took down the oil rig. Never did get the full story. The NCR took out Navarro, saying we posed a threat to the region.
Well, I'd like to know more about your former squad.
I was the officer in charge, and Johnson and Moreno were my heavy hitters. Henry handled tech things, and Whitman flew the chopper. Johnson and Moreno never got along, and I had my hands full keeping those two apart some days. It was a difference in philosophy, mostly. Mercy was not part of Moreno's vocabulary. Uh-huh.
Judah Krieger is the glue that's kept us all together over the years, and with good reason. Anyone who can command Moreno and Johnson in the same unit without somebody getting fragged is one hell of a leader. Krieger was polite and kind, but never warm. He always did his best to make me feel welcome in the group. I think he did it out of a sense of loyalty to my father. Loyalty means a lot to Judah. Not loyalty to the Enclave, or even the ideals they fought for, but to the people who served with him.
They're loyal to you too, you know.
Sometimes I wonder how much of my father they see in me. They went through a lot together, but my family went through it too. I'm glad they've watched out for me all these years. Maybe someday I can return the favor.
And with that, we have recruited all 5 members of the Remnants, and all that's left is to head to the Remnants bunker with the passphrase that they've been giving us. But before we do that, let's see one of Arcade's more grim endings, shall we? So when you are playing a Legion playthrough, if you do still manage to get Arcade as a companion, once you proceed through the quest to destroy the Brotherhood of Steel bunkers, Caesar's gonna stop you.
Has the Brotherhood been destroyed?
I've destroyed the bunker in Hidden Valley.
Very well. This latest victory brings to a close my efforts to reshape the power balance of the Mojave. And not a minute too soon. I want you to join me in my tent. You and I are going to have a private conversation.
Oh boy, a private conversation.
All right, let's state the obvious. There's something wrong with me. The headaches started a couple of months ago. They weren't too bad at first, but now they come frequently and they're debilitating. For the past 2 weeks, my left leg has been dragging. It's stiffer, hard to move. And you've seen me blank out. Lucia says I stare into space, blink a few times, then keep talking like nothing happened. So what's the diagnosis?
I'm afraid your symptoms are consistent with a brain lesion. Most likely a tumor.
I figured as much. Congratulations. You just became my personal physician. Do you have what you need to treat my condition?
It's a simple procedure, as brain surgeries go.
Then go find some proper surgical tools. The medication from a doctor's bag might come in handy too. I'll make sure you're allowed to bring the necessary medications into the camp. Hurry back. I don't know how long I've got.
One of my companions, Arcade, has medical expertise. You could take him as a slave.
And where is this Arcade?
He's actually standing right outside your tent.
I'll have my guards take him captive. If he cures my condition, I'll see to it that your reward is several times his value.
With that, we lose Arcade as a companion. Wonder what he has to say about this.
Hey there! Was it always your plan to sell me into slavery to Caesar, or was that a spur-of-the-moment thing?
Well, I thought you were interested in preserving life.
I know I shouldn't place one life below another, but in Caesar's case, I'll make an exception. The whole slavery and cultural annihilation stance he's adopted is a bit repugnant to me. Though I guess what I think never really mattered much to you, did it?
Oh, he is very upset. Oh well. But of course we aren't gonna do that to our guy Arcade. We're gonna come here to the Remnants bunker, just east of Jacobstown, kind of southwest of Vault 22, north of Red Rock Canyon. I suggest approaching it from the east, somewhere in this direction. Gonna be the easiest to get to that way. And before we can go in, we need to give the passcode, "Dear old friends, remember Navarro." We get to see some of the Enclave's technology, a full vertibird, plenty of suits of power armor as well, as we head inside to the meeting.
Have you seen that tower on the... Glad to see you made it here all right. So, who are we going up against?
So this is the point in the quest where you get a big decision. You can either convince them to fight with the NCR against the Legion, or the other way around. Let's help the Legion take over the dam.
Well now, an opportunity for payback after all these years. Johnson won't go along with it though. He actually likes the NCR.
Can't you just order Johnson to go along with the plan?
I stopped being Johnson's officer a long time ago. Everyone here respects me, but they don't need to follow my orders. Not anymore.
Will Johnson be a liability?
He won't turn on us, but he's a good shot, and I'd hate to do this without him.
Any chance of talking him into staying?
No, I'm afraid. Johnson truly hates the Legion.
Well, enough about him. What's next?
Since Johnson won't be needing his power armor, I've decided to let you have it. You'll need training in how to use it, so talk to Moreno about it. Strip all lit up, you can see...
You got the survivors of the Enclave back together so you could convince them to help Caesar? What are you thinking? Do you want to see Vegas turned into the new slave capital of the West?
Oh, NCR is broken beyond repair. Its time has come.
If the NCR is broken, it will fail on its own. The people who live here don't deserve to be victims of your misguided attempts at political engineering. Or are they just collateral damage?
More than collateral damage, they're a necessary sacrifice.
How noble of you. Sorry, but I won't be sticking around to see if you have the courtesy to lay flowers on the mass grave that the Legion's going to dig for them.
And with that, Arcade leaves us as a companion.
So I hear the honcho of one of them strip
And I believe
families
Johnson
up and
leaves the group as well.
I'm not helping the Legion no matter
they'll
how much
find
you
his
talk
body
about.
someday.
I will help my friends prepare, but that's it.
Kind of hard to hear over Daisy, but he just said he is not helping
If
the
the
Legion,
NCR ain't got
but
to
he
worry
will
about
help his
Caesar
friends
no
prepare.
It should
So
worry
maybe
about
that's not the
improving
best
the lives of
option.
regular folks around
Goddamn,
here.
Daisy, shut the hell up. The other option, of course, is to have them help the NCR hold onto the dam.
Then that's the plan. We're gonna have a problem with Moreno, though. He won't like that we're helping the NCR. You'll have to talk to him.
You're the officer here, can't you just order him to go along with the plan?
I stopped being Moreno's officer a long time ago. Everyone here respects me, but they don't need to follow my orders. Not anymore.
What's his problem with the NCR?
Day one, we didn't. It's as simple as that. The rest of us moved on while Moreno didn't. Still, I'm not convinced Moreno hates the NCR as much as he thinks he does. You still might be able to talk him out of leaving.
Will he be a liability?
He won't turn on us, but he's a good shot, and I'd hate to do this without him.
I'll talk to him.
You've got only one chance at this. I know Moreno. Once he's made up his mind about something, there's no changing it. Power on the strip all lit up, you can see it for miles.
And he just runs off. Unlike Cannibal Johnson, you can actually convince him to
I
stay.
didn't come all the way out here just so we could save the fucking NCR. I'm out.
The remnants come in, guns blazing, showing the NCR how it's done. You actually don't want that?
I can't believe you've actually talked me into this. Fine, I'm in. But don't expect me to hold my fire if any NCR troops get in the way.
Thanks for doing this. Getting them all back together again. I'll be honest, when Moreno started going off, I didn't think we'd all be walking out of there in one piece. I still don't know how this is all going to shake out in the end, but at least the Enclave can atone a bit for all the damage it's done.
You've certainly done your part.
I've been wondering about Daisy and the others for so long, I still haven't figured out what I should do. I mean, I'm not like them. I was born at Navarro and my father served with them, but I wasn't really part of the Enclave. It seems presumptuous of me to think I could join the fight, even if this is a cause worth fighting for. Because I know when fighting breaks out at the dam, all hell is going to break loose in Freeside. They're going to need every doctor they can get.
And with this, we reach the final branch in the quest. We can convince him to stay in Freeside with the followers, or we can convince him to fight with the Enclave. You're so sure it's going to be a bloodbath. Maybe you should stay in Freeside.
I honestly didn't expect you to say that. When I talked to you about Daisy and the others, you seemed to put a lot of value in loyalty to the past. What's changed since then?
You were born at Navarro, but you are your own man. They have their fight, and you have yours.
True enough, I suppose. Getting them back together must be worth more than me spraying plasma all over the dam. Back to Freeside it is. I need to make a stop before I settle in. I'll be back in a while. Thanks again for your help. It means a lot to me.
And with that, he leaves you as a companion and returns to Freeside. Now we gotta go tell Judah.
Moreno's a stubborn son of a bitch, but he's also tougher than any of us. I'm glad you were able to talk him into staying. Since Whitman will be staying with the vertibird, she's offered to give her old suit of power armor to you. You'll need special training to use it properly, so talk to her as soon as you get the chance.
I'll talk to her then.
The training might take several hours, so keep that in mind.
I appreciate you keeping Orion in the group. Since I won't be needing my armor, makes the cockpit a bit cramped, you should take it. It'll take a few hours to show you how to use it properly, so let's get started.
And you receive specialized power armor training. I believe the only other place you can get this is from the Brotherhood of Steel, so very nice.
That Mr. House who lorded over the strip is dead.
Now that we have that, we can go ahead and leave. And I believe once you leave, you'll be stopped by Arcade one last time.
Like I said, I needed to go do something. This is it. It belonged to my father. I thought I might wear it at Hoover Dam, but after you talked me out of it, I didn't see the point in hanging on to it any longer. I'm here because of you, so I figured you're the one most deserving of it. It should protect you from everything short of a plasma caster. And if you need anything at all, you know where to find me.
What are you going to do now?
Back to Old Mormon Fort, where I can do some good. We followers may be idealistic, but even I know this is going to end in blood. Fortis fortuna adiuvat. Good luck. And goodbye.
And again, he leaves you as a follower. You cannot recruit him for the rest of the game, so I always think it's a good idea. You know, this is an in-game quest. Save it till right before you're going to Hoover Dam. That way you always have him available as a companion. Now, since he's not going to be in the battle, he went ahead and gave you the Gannon family Tesla armor, which is a special type of power armor unique to him. Very nice. Now, what happens if you convince him to fight with the Enclave? What happens in Freeside won't make any difference if the Legion takes the dam. Fight with them.
Good point. You've been encouraging the others to stand up and fight. Maybe I should take the same advice. After all, I also lived in Navarro. There's something I need to go do, but I'll catch up with you later. Thanks again for your help with the others. It means a lot to me.
Once again, he leaves you, returns to Freeside, and the rest of this plays out pretty much the same until you leave the bunker. So let me just speed through all of this, get the power armor training, and head on out.
Like I said, I needed to go do something. This is it. It belonged to my father. Since you convinced me to help out with the defense of Hoover Dam, I figured I'd haul it out of storage. I'm a little rusty with it, but I think I can manage. As long as you got my back, of course.
And this time, it seems he went to go get the armor for himself, and he promptly goes and joins the Enclave in the bunker. Don't think we'll be able to go all the way in, so once again, he is locked for the rest of the game. But that's gonna about cover everything for Arcade Gannon. The final companion for us to get in the base game, and we can't even use him now. So we're gonna have to find something else to do in our next Horde video, and I got just the idea. But that's gonna be then. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
After the courier ensured New Vegas remained free, the followers found that independent Vegas was even more unstable and violent than before. Old Mormon Fort became excessively burdened by the influx of patients, struggling to provide even the most basic of services.
Arcade was proud to have been one of the defenders who helped repel the Legion from Hoover Dam. He was prouder still to see the area freed from the shackles of the NCR and Mr. House. Though independence for New Vegas was not all he hoped it could be, Arcade used his Enclave knowledge and technology to keep order wherever he could.
After their bold arrival at Hoover Dam, the remnants disappeared as quickly as they came. Legends of their power spread throughout the Southwest, a reminder of why people once feared the sight of vertibirds in the sky.